Let's go, Raiders.
It'll be Raiders ball to start this second half. But this is Devin Tompkins showing off his speed, flat flies. There is a flag down as Tompkins was brought down at the 34. It's a 31-yard return, and moments ago, Lisa Salters got up with D'Amico Ryan.
Thank you, Joe. D'Amico, just one drive for C.J. Stroud on your offensive line. Why was that all you needed to see?
It was a very productive drive. I really love the decision making of C.J. there on that drive, and to see how our offensive line blocked really well. Woody ran the football well. It was all I needed to see. We wanted to get something positive to start, and we did that.
Your defensive starters are not out there tonight, but for the guys who are playing, giving up just 3 points in that first half, how have they upheld the defensive identity that you want to do that?
They're doing a really good job. First thing in waves, taking the ball away, going to score. That's big for us on defense. And then our guys are playing fast, they're playing physical. They're wearing our style. Texans brand of football. So I love the way they're playing.
Thanks for your time today.
Thanks, easy.
Joe.
All right, Lisa, thank you. And thanks to D'Amico. Aidan O'Connell takes over at quarterback for Mendoza, able to complete it for a short gain. Catch made by Okuwe-Buna. What a nice play made defensively, and it'll be second down. Every time I see D'Amico Ryans, I think about when he was hired to be the head coach and then walking back into the facility. He was a second-round pick back in 2006 by Houston. He was a defensive rookie of the year. When he walked in, he got a standing ovation from everybody in the building. They love this man, and they should.
And they still do. For all that he's done since he took over and the success that they've been able to have, even though they've come up a little short.
Alabama is able to carry for a first down.
I thought it was interesting in talking with him the other day about the offseason. And we were talking about C.J. Stroud, and then he started talking about how it was for him. And it was the toughest offseason that he has been through, because this was a team that began the year 0-3 last year, and then they got to 3-5, but then they won 9 straight. They went in the wild card, and they really had to believe that that was their year, and they were going to make it to the Super Bowl, and to have it end the way that it did, it was tough on everybody.
Alabama cuts it back up the middle and is able to get 5. And it's just been this wall for this organization there in their 25th year of play in the NFL. They are 0-7 in the divisional round. And for D'Amico Ryans, the good is all winning. You just saw in the graphic during the regular season, winning a wild card round game, and then just cannot get to the champ game. They're picked by many to make it to Super Bowl 61. Time will tell. O'Connell passes low, incomplete, no flag. With Malik Benson the target, 3rd down and 5.
Well, real key for them, Joe, is to play that divisional round, here at Reliant Stadium. And, how do you do that? Well, you get off to a better start, certainly at the beginning of the year, and that's going to be a challenge this season when you look at their schedule, opening up against Buffalo, but they've been able to win in the wild card. The divisional round has been a nemesis, and what can they do to get beyond that? And this is a defense that believes they can be better offensively, and we certainly know they can be better.
O'Connell's going to air it out. He's got Benson and can't connect. Bryce Hall, who was just added and was part of the Louisville UFL championship this year, just added to the roster, was back there stride for stride with Malik Benson, and that will bring an end to this in July, back in 2018. O'Connell's second series, that will be its off his left hand. And then complete with Martin Maku there defending for Houston. The NFL celebrates youth and high school football year-round through Play Football, an initiative aimed at creating a positive experience for players, coaches, and parents with the goal of promoting the values of the game. To learn more and to find a league near you, visit playfootball.com. That'll be in the backfield. And he gets it. Trying to find some daylight. Nice run on 2nd down. Picked up 5. 3rd and 5 coming up as Brandon Codrington made the stop.
a lot of these young backs, these young defensive players, and just see what they're capable of doing. And of course, they've got one more preseason game, and then everybody across the league will be cutting down the rosters to 53 men. And a lot of movement taking place after that.
Matt Burke, the defensive coordinator, 10 of his 11 starters return, and it's basically been that way for 3 years in a row. They've been a blow here to the Texans. They added Blankenship. Otherwise, everybody's back. Here is a completion. See where progress puts him. The catch is made by Devin Tompkins. It's going to be 4th down. The marking inches short of the 1st down. Here at 4, and that's Covington making this tackle again.
Yeah, you mentioned 10 of the 11, and the one who is not a returning starter being Reed Blankenship that they picked up, and I think that was a great acquisition by Houston, a guy who has a championship pedigree, having won a Super Bowl with Philadelphia. He's a captain, and hard to imagine this defense can get better, but they just might. Of course, it all starts with those edge rushers that they have and getting after the quarterback.
Another good point here by Carter line drive, and a chance for a return by Jackson, and Jaquan is out of that. Lisa, thank you. He's a wonderful human being, as you can see. He was rewarded with a 3-year extension, $134 million guaranteed. Number 3 pick in 2024. The pick right before him was his quarterback, C.J. Stroud, who does not have an extension. He's extension eligible, obviously, but that has not come yet. And talk about that. Here's a kneel pick. And the throw by O'Connell. Stepping in front of him was Jalen Reed. That last play on the forced fumble was Patrick Johnson, who knocked it away from Brett Rippon. And it was recovered by Gary Smith. Here's the play by Johnson.
Yeah, Patrick Johnson came around the edge, does an outstanding job of really stripping the ball. You see as he gets that lean coming off the edge, able to knock it out, gets the ball back to the offense.
2nd down and 10 after the incompletion and near interception. Aidan O'Connell. Quick throw. He has got Tompkins on the edge, and Devin. And he's forced out of the gain of 5 by Brandon Codrington, who has shown up a couple of times in this game. 3rd down coming up.
Pretty high praise coming from Will Anderson, a guy that's accomplished as much as he has in his young career for the rookie Keelan Rutledge. And you know, in talking with C.J. Stroud, he was commenting on him and said, we haven't had a lineman like him since he's been the quarterback. And, you know, this nastiness and toughness that he brings, and he brings the same attitude that we've seen in the last several years now from this entire defense of the Houston Texans.
3rd down and 5. O'Connell was in the air, and the flag will fly. There was contact at the top of the route. Shedrick Jackson was the target. An undrafted rookie from Mizzou, Stephen Hall, is guilty of the pass interference.
Look at it here. O'Connell, he works through this progression, comes back, tug on at the top, and gets called with a penalty.
You come into this defense as a young player, and I would imagine, Troy, it takes a minute to get up to speed with these guys and what they demand of this defense with effort and hustle. Aidan McDonald there, 2nd-round pick from that out during camp. Run around and toss to Devin Tompkins, and a short game.
Yeah, they bring in the right type of people, and I've been impressed. And we've seen it from a few defenses, and how the coaches are able to really create an atmosphere where they're as physical as they are at a time when you're not able to practice the way you once were able to. And yet, well, there's a standard in Houston that D'Amico Ryan's demands, and Matt Burke, the defensive coordinator, and really now these veteran players on the defensive side of the ball. It's a hard line to crack, that's for sure.
That'll be over the right side on 2nd and 6. No gain. 3rd down come out. This defense under D'Amico Ryan since 2023. On his 4th year, you see where they ranked in points per game, yards per play, takeaways, tied for 3rd, sacks. They're good at every level. Front, linebacker, secondary. We saw Derek Stingley Jr., the two-time All-Pro, when we were talking about this defense. They're down in 6. O'Connell. Nice move. First one opens up the front. Didn't make a of the tackle, but a nice throw, nice catch, and a gain of 14.
Nice design. As you see Lowry come here, the linebacker's going to come over the top, and he thinks he's going to run to the flat. Lowry then puts his foot in the ground, runs an angle route from the backfield, and it opens things up nicely to pick that up.
With your quarterback, Aidan O'Connell, 7-10 as a starter in the NFL. Injured last year. Trying to get his team into the end zone in a 17-point game. To get the services of Max Crosby, and he's definitely one of the leaders on this team. He has been pumping up the young guys. We saw him with Mendoza. We see him there with Benson. Doing all he can to pump up his teammates.
Well, he's so disruptive in practice that he got pretty close to Kirk Cousins' arm enough times that drew the ire of Cousins, and those two guys. Rick Kubiak, he benched them both the next day for practice. I mean, he didn't let either one of them practice. And I can assure you that as a 15-year veteran quarterback, Kirk Cousins, the last thing you want to have happen is defensive players around your arm when you're trying to throw the ball and hit a thumb on a helmet or what have you. But that's just who Max Crosby is. You better get used to it.
Let's go down to Warren.
Yeah, it was interesting, guys, talking to Nakobe Dean, who, of course, came over to this Raiders team from the Eagles. He said the defense loved that Kirk Cousins did that. They were like, man, this guy's feisty. He's out there fighting on the field and making a name for himself. It actually earned Kirk Cousins even more respect from this Raiders team.
Open or missed was Philip Dorsett. There's Nakobe Dean. We're talking about his addition, the former Philadelphia Eagle, and he's reunited with his Georgia Bulldog teammate Quay Walker, who they added from the Packers. And Nakobe Dean was the defensive captain with Georgia back in the day, and now he'll be wearing the green dot for the Raiders when the regular season starts.
Yeah, those two guys really excited about being reunited. They were with the Las Vegas Raiders after being teammates in college and signed pretty closely after one another to come play for the Raiders this offseason.
They're down to 10. This one for Dorsett, incomplete. Fourth down with exactly 1 minute remaining in the third quarter here in Houston.
Philip Dorsett, he's one of those interesting guys. He's bounced around. He's been with 7 teams, and he was a former first-round pick for the Indianapolis Colts. And he just found both when he was with the New Orleans Saints and then the resurrection there of the Denver Broncos. One of the really great coaches in our league.
Two winningest coaches going head-to-head that are active in this league. Nornex had the ankle injury in the divisional win over Buffalo. ankle surgeries in March and April, moving around great. 2 new coordinators with the Chargers for Jim Harbaugh. Patrick Mahomes has been a full participant in camp. Talked about that torn ACL and LCL last December, and then we got Kubiak beginning his rebuild with the Raiders, moving on to their first-time head coach in college. Throws pass behind the target, but the catch is made by Chase Roberts, and it depends on where they put it down.
You know, we talked about how tough this offseason was for Nico Ryans and not being able to advance further than what they thought that they might. And you look at the Broncos from last year, you know, how tough it must be for them. Everyone in that organization, but especially for Sean Payton, who put together the year that he was able to in such a short amount of time, and then to lose a quarterback in the divisional round not having a championship game, the way that it happened, that'll be tough to move on from that one as well.
They're down at 1. And working back, Roman Henry able to pick up the first down. Henry had 60 yards in that college football playoff championship game against Miami. There's Ashton Genty. We know that he's going to be the main man for the Raiders. They'll have Mike Washington behind him. So the touchdown tonight for Laobe. After Laobe, we got Henry, Gumbuwale trying to make this roster. Henry forward and able to lunge for a few, a gain of 3. ESPN Fantasy Football is now the official fantasy game of the NFL. New this season, knockout leagues where each week the lowest scoring team is eliminated until only one is left standing. Download the ESPN Fantasy app for free today and sign up to play the #1 fantasy game.
Genty would be a good one to have on your team. I know he spent a lot of time this offseason working on catching the football, something that he was still pretty good at. He had 55 catches last year as a rookie, so it's not like he can't catch it.
There's a completion on the catch is made by Chris Myrick. The former New York Giant is added to this roster, and a nice catch for first down.
Yeah, as we continue with Genty, and this is a guy who played slot receiver back when he was in high school and did some things there. So to get him in this offense, I just think with that stretch wide zone, outside zone play, that's such a prominent part of his run game, and the play action off of it, along with using him as a wide receiver and splitting him out in different areas. He's playing for a good year.
Here's a handout to the former Houston Texan. Look to the left side, gets 11.
You guys are talking about Ashton Genty. He said he really committed to getting stronger and faster and in better shape this offseason. He said he really wanted to dial in on the X's and O's and understand this Kubiak offense because that's part of his job, but also because he said he's excited about this offense and the ways that Clint Kubiak uses a running back. He loves that, what he thinks his future can be here with the Raiders.
Yeah, Laura, and a guy who is going to be used all over the place. Handing it to him, throwing it to him, and David.
He's been making notes over there on that card like he's a coach, and you know, I think he learned from Fernando Mendoza. I think, you know, Fernando's got everybody in the classroom.
Second down and 5 on O'Connell. Just added to this roster, but he's put together a really nice career. Injuries have derailed him the last couple of years. But a former 7th-round pick by the Cowboys in 2016, his 9th season, he's been with the Cowboys, he's been with the Texans, Washington the last 2 years. But when he's healthy, he is a really valuable piece to have.
I agree. He's been really productive when he has been healthy, and he does a lot of the dirty work, and because of that, I think a lot of what he's able to do as a receiver, when I've watched him, I believe he's a really good route runner. I think a lot of that ability gets overlooked because he's so good in the run game blocking.
Henry with a nice game over the left side. Codrington with a stop. Under 9 to go in this game. Picked up a 5.
Well, they bring in Noah Brown, and as we've talked about, I mean, there's a whole slew of wide receivers that they have, and they can't address every need in the one off season, but that is an area that they're going to have to manage really by committee, and no one has yet to emerge as who's going to be the leader of that wide receiver group. We all know that the passing game is going to run through Brock Bowers. We see a lot more multiple tight end personnel, but they're going to need something out of the wide receiver group.
Here's Henry showing the weekend picking up the first down on the right side. That's the 10th play of the drive. This is the longest drive by the Raiders tonight. And it's being engineered by Aidan O'Connell, quarterback, Henry at running back, and second and third string players all across, playing against second and third string players on the other side.
It's good stuff, and the best part of it is the clock keeps running.
There's a little play action. There was set man in the target, and that was not open in the least. And so O'Connell throws it into the seats. And there's Brock Bowers, who was an All-Pro his rookie year. 2 years, 2 Pro Bowls, 2-time national champ at Georgia. And as you said, I mean, do they have a number 1 receiver? Well, they don't have a number 1 wide receiver, but their top target is that guy.
No question. And he is as good as there is in this league. And the way he's able to run routes, what he does after he catches the football, they can line him up anywhere and get him healthy this year.
This is a touchdown and will stand.
All right.
If they are going to
Real quick, this is for the yellow tickets for the beer. This is for the beer, the ones that you were given. The yellow tickets that you were given as soon as you walked in. So this is for something for the mesa. All right. Who wants some of the beer? Your hands better, girl. Shoot. You guys are Raiders. Last 4. 3077. That's not good. Winner, winner! Winner, winner! Winner, come in and receive your prize. Right over there, too. Right over there. All right. Once again, my name is Zoogie Doc in the mix. If you got a request or a shout out, bring it on up.
It was 17-0 and 20-3. And now we're actually 1 away from a 3-point game. And it's going to be Kansai Matsuzawa to try and make it just that. He does not miss the extra point line right.
And son duo to receive your.
Thank you, Lisa. Thank you, guys. Thank you all very much. And by the way, Lisa, Troy not only heard about it, he was there, which meant the world to me and meant the world to my family and my wife Michelle and my sister Julie and my kids and everybody. It was nice to have you there. It was an incredible weekend. Being in Cooperstown was awesome, and it's the highest honor a broadcaster can get.
Well, you've been collecting Hall of Fames. It was awesome. I was proud to be there. Such a great accomplishment. Your speech was phenomenal. I wish you could see the smile and how proud your family was listening to you give that speech and recognized everybody so well, including your father, who I know was looking down and had a big smile on his face.
Thank you, buddy. I was there in 1987 and we got to do it in 2026. And most happy that my sister Julie and my mom Carol were there on both occasions. To say nothing to Michelle, like the wife, and having a treat, and basically together, Bobby and Connor.
are moments that I think your loved ones probably cherish even more than what you do. I would agree with that.
Third down and 3 for the Raiders. O'Connell trying to get him back down the field into the end zone. And the Raiders their first lead of the night. One-man rush. O'Connell steps into it. His receiver fell down. That was Jackson, Shepard Jackson, who lost his footing, and the pass went over his head as a result, so it's 4th down with 4:20 to go.
I'm thinking maybe one of these teams will work on that run game a little bit more than what they
We got 2 17s out there.
That's another problem about preseason.
It's Codrington who is back deep, and Southwood's blocking for him. Codrington backing up inside the 20. Talked about special teams and play from the 4, from his end zone. He's got his running back, Aidan, who is out of bounds to stop the clock with a gain of 9.
Some Texans players, he was yelling for the clock to keep running. That's my new favorite guy.
Yeah, he's the same as Chandler the Needle. 2nd and 1. Hey, we can talk about this. I don't know what the announcement was that I happened at. Let's see. Yeah, they may be saying that he was inbound.
Yeah, they're going to put him down inbounds, which means that there's going to be a 10-second runoff.
After review, the pass was completed. However, the receiver was down like contact inbounds. Therefore, there will be a 10-second runoff. Game clock should have stopped at 1 minute 32 seconds. Please reset the game clock to 1:22. 1:22 in the game clock.
Brandon Codrington, who has done a little bit of everything in this game, was the one who made that tackle, and that will put the clock at 1:22. When we talk about this game, if there are jobs out there potentially to be had, somebody can special teams or make a big play, who knows? Here's a catch, and now clearly out of bounds is Shepard Jackson. To stop the clock, Jackson got 16 yards.
Well, they're going to hurry up, and it's a good point, Joe, that even these players are told by their coaches across the league, these young players that don't maybe have much of a chance of making the roster that they're on, but they're auditioning for 31 other teams that are going to be looking to take and trying to upgrade different positions of their own roster. So, everybody's auditioning for something.
Here's a catch back set, and the other layer to it is this: you've got a first-time head coach in Clint Kubiak who's calling the plays. So they took the timeouts on defense. He's getting used to all of this stuff, and now having to put the other hat on and call a 2-minute drill and try to get his team down the field and win the game. They have 36 coaches listed for Clint Kubiak, and he's got a lot of experience around him. Like Mike McCoy, who's been a head coach in this league, with Dennison, Joe DeCamillis, on and on and on. Here's a conclusion. It's Jackson again. And there's just over a minute to go, and the Raiders are moving it down the field after a 20-yard gain. Here's a catch. Clock will run. Grab made by Brandon Johnson. He got 9. And again, the practice for not only O'Connell, but Clint Kubiak as they clock it. It'll be 3rd down and 1 with 38 seconds left in the game.
They weren't too nervous about it.
I don't think there's a pulse that goes over 6-2.
When you mentioned 36 coaches on the staff, it's mind-blowing how these coaching staffs have grown. I think when I retired, maybe you had 14, maybe.
So that got him to the 1, and then getting up to the line, O'Connell, with a tush push by Myrick behind him, shoves him in. And the drive that started at their own 4, with a minute 37 left and no timeouts, ends up in the end zone.